Ferocious, dude.
Only 20 minutes late, but whatever.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you in the bathroom
I'm taking a shit right now.
at the
Uh,
same time?
no, I'm in my living room. Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I know you disrespect people all the time, but I didn't think you were like that mean.
Dude, holy.
That's awesome, dude. Congrats on the mustache, bro. How's it going?
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, the mustache is good. I'm good. Life is good.
Good. Good, I'm glad. So yeah, man, fucking I'm looking at it's crazy. You can see so many of your statistics just online searching your name. Like there's I could tell what day that your fight was canceled with Jared in 2020. Like this is ridiculous. I
Yeah,
realize there's so much
not hard to find.
information. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you're 1 week out now, right?
Yeah, like so Friday, so it was 6 days, but yeah, essentially a week. Um, yeah,
Red Deer.
Red Deer,
Okay.
Alberta. Um,
Nice.
can stream that on millions.co.
Millions.co. Okay,
Millions.co.
right on. Um, did you what's the price for the stream, do you know?
It's like $30. I think it's like 24.99.
Hmm.
And then there's taxes and stuff. I apologize in advance. You may or may not hear some kids screaming in the background, but this is just life. This is life for me. There's dogs.
That's how it is, eh?
There's
You
dogs.
have a dog, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Did you first things first, I kinda want to dive in. I want to ask you, dude, what when do you plan to come up to Sudbury to learn how to wrestle?
Man, hopefully soon, right? It's yeah, good grief, hey.
It might
Man,
not happen for a while though. You're like I know you're a busy guy with your schedule and your the wife to be and
uh,
the brand new
any
child.
trips that I'm taking are typically to Nova Scotia, right?
Yeah.
But I have a lot of family in Ontario too, so hopefully make that trip out soon. Obviously, I have a bit of an entourage now, so
Yeah.
you know, so but yeah, I mean, hopefully soon. Be awesome to come down there and learn how to wrestle.
Sick. Right on. Yeah. Oh man. I just man, how is your now that you guys have the cage at Kingdom, how do you find it with like you practice wall wrestling a lot more or what? Like how's that changed at all or has it at all?
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like we've always done wall work. Like we've always had a
Yeah.
wall to work with, and the first location at Kingdom had like a kind of a square cage.
Yeah.
So it's not like the first time I've kind of been in it, but having that like proper setup at Kingdom now, it's awesome. Like it's a little smaller than the ones that you'll be fighting in, but it's not a whole lot smaller. And it's like
Right.
the just to kind of feel it. It's like it sounds the same. Like obviously the wall work is great, like against the fence and stuff.
Hmm.
Excuse me. And then yeah, no, it's awesome. It's like and it's up high, so you get kind of like every time I'm in there, it makes it a lot easier to kind of visualize yourself uh,
Nice.
in like for like the real thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome. I definitely a I don't know. I guess you call that an advantage, but yeah,
Yeah, man, that's super cool. That's awesome. There's something I don't think we'll get a cage for a while, if at all, but I do know that man, there's something about it where you're bare skin on the cage, on the fence. You're like, oh man, this is yeah. It creates a bit more of the visualization. I think it would help with for sure,
yeah.
for sure. I've yet to, although there's a lot of what's it called? I know there's some like MFL, like the Montreal Fight League, has a really cool like setup where they do just like they do amateur fights and they also do what's it called? Like they'll do nogi grappling matches and
Oh,
stuff like that, which is nuts in a cage as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's really cool to see two people pull guard in a cage. It's just
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's like who's gonna heel hook who today?
yeah,
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
yeah. Kingdom actually does a lot like for their smokers. They'll do like
Mm.
combat jujitsu in cage and stuff. They actually had one today, and I think there was a couple. There might have been a couple CJJ matches, but yeah, it's cool.
Bad jujitsu ones, eh?
Dog here.
Do you
Yeah,
prefer those? Yo, what's up, dog? Dude. What's he up to, man? What type of dog you got?
Just causing havoc. She's a mix of whole lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like things or
like
so.
yeah, like
She's a two farm dogs had an oopsie, so she's a boxer husky.
yeah.
Something else.
She was born out of wedlock. Yeah, her
Hell yeah.
parents horrible decisions. So
Oh wow. So you guys have her.
yeah, so that's how yeah
We
we
had
took her
LJ
in.
out of wedlock.
Nice. I mean, here we go, dude. Oh man. There's fuck, my dog, he's not here. He's with my girlfriend at like our friend's house because everywhere she goes, she goes. And then except to work. And I decided so story short, the dog's owner was like it was a domestic. So like a bunch of domestics, and then the woman ended up shooting the husband.
Holy
Yeah, because he didn't
wow,
do yeah, it was weird. It was crazy. So like anytime there's like a certain loud noises, he just loses it.
he's traumatized. Got PTSD.
Yeah, man. I've heard of it, but to see it like real life with the dog is like crazy. Otherwise, he doesn't do anything all day. Just lays on the same spot in the living room floor.
Holy, eh? Are we
Yeah, man.
one real quick? Are we drinking the same beverage right now?
No fucking way. Come on. That's not the same place.
Uh,
We would, dude. We would. Like,
uh,
obviously. Do you expect
yeah,
anything less, man?
holy.
God. That's awesome. Good note. Good
Yeah.
fucking good eye, dude.
I mean,
Man,
the
that's
sparkling
awesome.
water, man. Like the sparkling water, like between the bubblies and whatever these are, it has like saved my life. Like I'm
Whatever these are.
hardcore sparkling water.
Yeah, I don't know what the fucking blue menu grapefruit is like. Man, sodium free, calorie free, flavor free. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I'm struggling, but yeah, they get me through the day, man. And then my girlfriend will buy a bunch and stock my mini fridge,
Oh
and it's just ridiculous.
yeah. Like
So
if
yeah,
I don't have them, it it messes with my whole routine. Like in the
oh
morning,
yeah,
like it's become like a thing. Like I need it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus, do you like put creatine in the top? Because I definitely do that.
Wow, that's hardcore. No, I don't do
Thanks,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you saying that while fixing your fucking fetus ears. Jeez, I still haven't. I still haven't, and
Yeah.
it's not because I just don't grapple hard enough. It's,
Well, I mean,
I mean, you could argue that. I'm
yeah.
sure people like when they watch the clips back, they'll of this, they'll be like, "Yeah, dude, you don't grapple hard enough."
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. It's not
It
for that.
is what it is. It's not, man. Like being hard and working hard are just yeah, it's for the select few of you guys that are just built different. But
Yeah.
man, when was the last time you fought? 2000, couple
22.
years ago, right in
Yeah.
September.
It's a year. By the time I get back in there, it'll be a year and 9 months. So just about 2 years. Yeah, man.
Jeez, when yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy for sure. When did you? What's changed since? I know like a lot of stuff, but what are some main things people who don't know?
Man, so like a lot. Like there's been a whole lot has changed in my personal life. Uh,
Hmm.
like, I'm like a family man now. I you know, which is great. I have a son. So like everything, my daily life is like it's completely different like from, what it used to be.
Yeah,
All for the better, obviously, right? Like
obviously.
yeah, we're not we're not going crazy anymore, but um yeah, so that's been obviously a huge change. And then just like my mentality, like I feel like the way that I kind of approach the game now is
Yeah.
much more like professional, I would say. You know,
Mm,
feel way more dialed in. Um, like yeah, everything's just. I feel like I'm just like firing on all cylinders. So yeah, I guess the biggest change is like yeah, just my personal life. Um, I'm in a really good place there, you know, and then my just mindset is I just feel like I'm getting a little older now too. you know, it's older and wiser, Glenn. Older and wiser.
Older and wiser. Right on, man. Older and wiser.
I have a mustache now.
Yeah. The mustache has you at this point. Like it's out there.
It's
It's
it's the thing. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna trim it up a little bit in the next few days, but it's a commitment.
just keep the mustache for the fight. It like ends over here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a thick one.
Dude, it's awesome. But what do you mean it's you got like more dialed in, taking it more, I get not more seriously. That's not to say you never took it seriously in the past, but when you say professionally and like dialed in, it's like is it more structured or like explain that a bit, elaborate on that. I'm curious.
Yeah, so more structured. I feel like so I've been working with a strength and conditioning coach for the past like year, Coach Kenny.
Yeah. My
You've had,
dog.
right? Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's been like quite a game changer.
Hmm.
I've always done strength and conditioning, but it was never like there was never a kind of set way I did things. It was always kind of just like not random, but it would be kind of when I could fit it in, go super hard. Like the things I was doing, it's not like I was doing like the wrong things per se, but
Right.
it wasn't there was no structure to it. It was kind of just like go really hard um with what I thought was beneficial to the sport. Um and
Mm,
and there was no like set days I would do it. I was kind of all over the place.
yeah.
So now I have like a legit like program that Kenny sets up for me. And so like every time I go in there, and it's not like every day, like it's 2 to 3 times a week, right? But every time I go in there, there's like a set structure of like what we're doing, why we're doing it, and
Yeah.
none of the sessions are made to like destroy you.
Right.
And he's very big on quality over quantity, and
Hmm.
if it's going to take away from your skills training, like your skills training is most important, it should be
Yeah.
adding to that, right? And so a lot of plyo, a lot of there's never a day where we're like focusing on one muscle group, right? It's like it's all about like becoming a better athlete, doing things that will transfer over to fighting well. And I find just having him in my corner has helped just keep me more accountable. And I really feel like I'm like achieving something when every time I step in there. And then I feel like it's really helped um over the course, been working with him for a while, so I feel like I'm less injury prone. I just feel
Mm.
like better, faster, you know.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Do you find how is that what's the focus for this camp specifically though?
It's kind of, I mean, the focus is always relatively the same, where it's like it doesn't change a whole lot based on like who I'm fighting. It's the goal is to move better and just
Mhm.
become a better athlete and just get more skilled.
Right.
That's always kind of and then you kind of sorry, excuse me. You kind of always um try to do things in camp that are less kind of building strength and more so moving faster and more explosive. And then
Mhm.
after this fight, we'll kind of go back to like a strength building kind of regimen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Do you knowing who your next opponent is, or who your opponent's going to be next week, do you guys like plan for that a bit specifically, or I guess tailor like your hard rounds to it, or do you focus more on grappling or focus more on striking depending on what they're good at or a lot better? Like, what does that look like? At least this camp specifically, because I imagine it's changed with each opponent. But
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about this guy. He's a good striker, right? Um, but the focus is always, I feel confident, like I feel like I'm fairly well rounded, you know.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be kind of just I just focus on improving everywhere, and then if a path of least resistance presents itself, we'll take that, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's I mean, especially like I feel like at the amateur level too, it's it's more so just kind of about like becoming better as an athlete. If you focus too much on like your opponent at this point, it's like I don't know if that's super beneficial. So yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Just kind of
Fair.
I have an idea of how I want it to go, but at the end of the day, just get in there, scrap, and
Hell yeah.
do, you know?
What's your opinion on sitting guard in a fight or pulling guard, like pulling bottom position, jumping guillotine?
Yeah. So, um, I mean,
You know,
pull guard, definitely pull guard. I would recommend pulling guard, um, almost all the time, right? As soon
all
as
the
that,
time.
yeah, just pull guard. Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. MMA
Okay.
for sure.
Contact with the opponent or no contact on the guard pull?
I would just sit down as soon as you ready, sit down. Why even
Right away.
why even get into that scenario?
Would
Right.
you like walk, tap hands, and then sit down, or do you reckon you would just sit when he says fight?
I would probably just sit as soon as the fight. Yeah. That sounds like the plan. Yeah.
Wow. Wouldn't even none of this.
No,
Wow.
just butt scoot towards
You're like
him.
not wasting any time.
No, just get right
Okay.
into it. Yeah.
And then like hope for a triangle or like Imanari roll kind of into it. Like
Prob-
what's
Probably a jumping guillotine from bottom guard.
from like seated guard position.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think that's the most effective way to do that. Like
It's
to submit
ambitious.
somebody from the bottom.
Yeah. Ambitious, super low percentage. I don't know if that's, but you pull that off,
Oh buddy.
we're going.
You're yeah, it's crazy. Mitch has a book and I've seen it. It's like a binder and it says literally the percentage of everything. Like it's like a by the numbers professional MMA book that just has everybody. I guess the UFC gave it to him or whatever, or he got it from there, and it's the percentage of every single takedown, like head on the inside percentage, head on the outside percentage, reactions, and it's like dialed in, like anything you could think of. It's like how often or what's your likelihood from 3.5 feet of hitting a single leg with the head on the inside, out on the outside,
Yeah, yeah.
percentage of guillotines, percentage of, and he's like, you know what, guess what the most used successful technique is for submission in MMA.
I want to say rear naked choke.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
You know
yeah.
that?
How?
So I'm pretty sure this is the same book, but Aaron actually um I think has read this book because I
Mm,
think it's from the UFC PI, if I'm
yeah.
not mistaken. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like all that information as far like there's so much literature and it's just public. Yeah, like you like anybody can like if you're into like reading it all, like there's like information on weight
Yeah.
cutting, there's like but yeah, it's pretty wild. Like it's a lot of like you said, like it's a
Yeah. It's
thick
heavy. Yeah.
dry, super dry, but like
Dense for
yeah,
sure.
but a lot of good information there. A lot of people don't know that. It's just like if you want to take the time, it's there, right?
Oh
So it's
yeah.
yeah.
That
Uh,
man, that's cool. I figured I was like Aaron or Craig had to have like read it at some point, or they would know exactly, and like exactly what I'm talking about. It's crazy, like you said, dense read, but man, there's so much out there, and you can cater your style to what's most successful,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like just what percentages are there and stuff like that. Especially if your style is, you're kind of a mix though, right? Like you're like an MMA fighter. You're not like a grappler who turned MMA. You're not a kickboxer who turned MMA.
Yeah, like I like to think that like not the best, I'm not the best grappler, I'm not the best striker, but I feel like where I shine is like, yeah, the MMA putting it all together. you
You're
know,
like a Leon Edwards.
like a Leon Edwards, baby. Yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
That's awesome. Man, that's a good one. How did this fight specifically come about? Because you'd been on the couch for like what, almost in the year 9 months, right? So how did this one come about? Are you always waiting on the phone, like for the phone to ring, or do you have like this is the season I could book fights? Like what does that look like? How'd this come about?
Yeah, so it was a pretty gradual kind of process. I've been kind of trying to get a fight for quite a while last
Mhm.
year, and nothing really came about. I had a few offers, but all of them were kind of, it was either too far to travel or, and I'm not getting paid, so it's like some of them didn't make
Yeah.
sense. And then other ones that I got offered, which I didn't get offered a whole couple, but they were too short notice, like
Hmm.
3 to 4 weeks, which when I had, I'd taken a lot of time off, and I was like, no, I want like a proper
Yeah.
8 get ready. So just didn't line up. And then my name was in for a couple cars last year, and just never got a matchup for whatever reason. And then I had a baby, right? So then there was like a period of time where, I'll take some time off to just kind of help mom out and all that stuff. So, and then, we kind of got to a place where I was like, okay, I can start being a little more consistent with training. I'm always like fairly consistent with training year round, even in like, you know, um, getting ready for baby to come. And I'm coaching and stuff. So I'm always in the gym, right? Obviously, there's a difference between like getting fight ready and whatever. But, um, after baby was born, um, slowly got into a good routine, and, talked with my wife a little bit and was like, hey, like, would this kind of timeline work? Uh, as far, because it's a big commitment to have to get into a fight camp. You
Yeah.
know, I'm working full time, I'm coaching, so the amount of time I wouldn't be at home is like quite a bit. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. So, but yeah, we just got into a good routine, and then it's okay. We can start like putting my name in for some cards, and yeah, and then I just kind of got offered the fight. They the Havoc reached out to me, and they were like, "Hey, like, would you be willing to fight on June 14th?" Like, yeah, let's do it. And then shortly after that, came with an opponent, and I didn't, I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, let's go. Didn't really
Sick.
was I would pretty much fight anybody. So,
Hmm. Hell
but
yeah.
it was just kind of like, yeah, let's go. And then it was just kind of went snowballed from there. And then, yeah, here we are. So it was kind of just, you know, some time off. Some things didn't line up last year, but then it all worked out. And yeah, man, I'm stoked to be here.
That's awesome. I can't wait to watch. Anyway, I know you said it's on the Friday, right? You
Yeah,
reckon? Yeah, the
of course.
14th makes sense. Yeah, I'll be in Hamilton, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm
Nice.
gonna yeah, I'm gonna get to watch it, stream it. Yeah, and tell whoever I'm with that like it's we're doing this, we're doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm like, some of them are like, yeah, they're into, they're into fighting as much as like you're into ringette, like not really at all, right? So it'll be fun,
yeah,
man. Like,
yeah, yeah.
oh man, I think you kind of answered it, but what I'm curious about is like, especially with the kid and training, and then the new schedule and the strength and conditioning and stuff like that. How do you manage to balance it all? Like spent like now, like lately. I know like it was probably different in the last couple fights, but for this camp specifically, how have you managed these last 7, 8 weeks?
So yeah, definitely a challenge. Fortunately, I have an amazing wife
Mhm.
sitting to my left. Uh, but yeah, like
Yeah,
she's really awesome. She has been doing like all my meal prep for this camp, uh,
right.
and she really like does the majority of all the childcare. Um, so that's like obviously a huge blessing. Um,
Yeah.
And then, you know, I'm working full time, and then I coach jujitsu after work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturdays now. And then I would train in the evening, right? So it's like busy days. And then on my time
Yeah.
off, I try to like help her out as much as I can with the kids. So
Yeah.
it's just a nonstop like go, right? So yeah, like, and that's where the whole finding that balance of like quality training sessions over quantity, because like with my schedule, I used to be like, the mentality I always had was like I have to be in the gym for like as many hours as possible every day to feel ready.
Hmm.
That's kind of also a part of has changed my mentality lately as far as taking it more professionally, because I realized that like it's not necessarily like how many hours you're spending there, but what are you getting out of those hours?
Mm.
And so I'm still working very hard, but it's like like so but yeah, typically a day would be work, coach, and then there's little kind of like coaching is kind of like a little break for me, right? Um
Yeah.
Train in the evening for like 2 hours, go home, eat, sleep, shower, do it all again. And that's like
Oh
Monday to
yeah.
Saturday are I coach like a private gi session Saturday morning,
Yeah.
and then strength and conditioning in before or after that. And then Sundays are just like a day off. So
Yeah. Nice.
it's a grind. Um, you know, like listening, you know, you
Yeah.
got body. Um, but just kind of like, I don't know, finding that flow, focusing on like getting quality sessions over quantity sessions,
Yeah.
quantity of sessions. And yeah, I don't know. I fell into a pretty good groove.
Nice. Did you how do you not get sick with the new kiddo and a female living in your house? They're just prone to sicknesses. Those two types of people, women and babies, are prone to sicknesses. Like, dude, I'm like everywhere I look, there's like prescription bottles for antihistamines everywhere. So, you know, I gotta know. How do
Well,
you do it?
and the thing is too, it's like it's not even just the baby, but I have a 4-year-old stepdaughter who lives with
Oh
us as well,
yeah, that's right. Thank you.
toddler into the mix, right? And I don't know, I think Glenn, I think just more of a physical specimen. You know, I I am the epitome of health, and
Yes, go off.
I've I've definitely gotten sick. Like, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like like, yo, yeah, there was, especially like early in the year, like, oh man, I went through.
But you get the treatment when you're sick. I make
Yeah,
you homemade chicken noodle soup
yeah,
and teas
wife
and
Hell
take,
yeah.
like bundle you up and put vapor rub on your feet and then fuzzy socks.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, rest
Hey,
up,
well, easy,
honey.
easy, easy. They don't need to know about the fuzzy socks. All right.
I
So
think they add, dude, it's like stickers on a car. They add horsepower. They remove like minutes you're sick, I think, for every hour you wear them. There's got to be a trade-off, right? At some point. But that's disgusting. Like that's what love is. If somebody's like, "What's love?" I'll be like, "Yo, you gonna put vapor rub on my feet when I'm sick?" And they're gonna be like, "Oh hell no." And not nah, not
Oh,
you two, dude. Hell
and
no. That's awesome.
my feet are gnarly. Yeah. So that is love.
Obviously, look at like, dude, you could tell, I'm convinced you could tell what somebody's feet look like by looking at their face. I'm 100% serious because your feet and my feet look exactly like how our faces look.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, yeah. I'm not really sure how to take that,
I
but
was
yeah.
gonna say your feet and
Bro, you okay? I'm about to co-sign what you said. You said in your words, Lane, you mentioned, I'll do what you do, drop your first name. So, Lane, you said your feet are gnarly. Would you disagree that your face is also gnarly?
Yeah, that's when you put it like that, I have quite the gnarly face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No,
That's what I'm
definitely.
saying.
Yeah.
Hell
No,
yeah.
it's really rough, and I feel really bad, but both of my children
Violent.
inherited my big toe,
Oh
and it's
no, dude.
oh, my daughter and my son, they both have a ginormous big toe, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Sorry, guys," you know?
I saw it from across the delivery room. Literally, they came out of my stomach, and as they were bringing him to the incubator, I was like, "Oh my god, he's got your big toe."
Yeah.
Wow. Was it too now this might be an inappropriate thing to ask, but did you consider shaving the toe down? Like at what point is it too late to like make any modifications to the structure of the being?
You know, I haven't even looked into toe reduction, um, but, you know, at this point, I'm kind of partial to my big toe. It's kind of like my trademark. So I don't know if I could part ways with it, you know? I
Yeah,
think
you're too far gone,
maybe
but
if
your
like
kids.
for, needed some toe,
Mm,
that scenario, I might consider shaving it down, but yeah, otherwise it's the toe's here to stay.
hell
So,
yeah. Bro, we had a buddy at the gym that that would shave his big toe before fights in like a fucking point. And he was like, dude, the dude couldn't throw a kick to save his life, and he would just throw up kicks, just teeps,
oh, like
just pat pat. Yeah, I mean, it
oh,
wasn't a dagger, dude. It wasn't 7.5 inches off his foot, but it was definitely like if he connected, you were getting there's blood coming, like he was drawing blood.
that's savage. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
I've
rather get stabbed.
seen that, but I didn't know that was like a real thing. That's pretty gnarly. Mhm.
Yeah. There's some stuff that are just, like, they look at the toe they don't look at toes in some of these smokers and some of them, like, they look at nails a lot,
Yeah.
with their eyes and stuff, but they don't look at fucking feet, man.
Yeah, the feet get missed. Yeah.
It's weird, but I definitely wanna get off this subject. We spent way too much time on it, so I wanna know.
The
It's
whole
my
other
fault. It's my fault.
yeah. Sure. Yeah.
It's completely my fault, but what I wanna know is, like, has being a father motivated you at all for the like, to take the fighting more seriously and stuff like that and train more seriously, or has it just now you're, like, more structured and whatnot? Like, does it motivate you at all where it's like when it's difficult, you're like, "Well, I gotta do it for the kids," or is that just I'm curious.
I as far as motivation, I had my daughter was born when I was 23.
Right.
Um, Obviously, that situation is much different than the situation with my son. As far as motivation, I don't feel like it's really. I mean, it's always motivating when you
Yeah.
have, it's like you can pull from that, and
Nice.
like, you know, that's always been a thing. Um, I would say it makes it, it's because I'm doing like the at home dad thing with my son, right? I didn't have that with my daughter,
Oh, I
so
know what you mean now. Okay.
yeah, right. So it's I would say like that's changed how like fight camp looks a lot, um, kind of just because I'm not alone, right? There's
Right.
like um, but I feel yeah. So as far as motivation, like that's always been something that I've been able to kind of use. Um, but I find it
Interesting.
it's helped in so on the days off, right? When like on like a Sunday or for example or a weekend, it's really easy now to like just myself, right? I don't sit there and like fixate about you know fight because there's something to keep me occupied.
Nice.
So I feel like it's really helped in that sense where it's like having a family. It's like you're never bored, right?
Mhm.
So it doesn't. I remember I was single and getting ready for fights. Some days you're sitting there and there's like nothing to really do, and you kind of like you sit there and you overanalyze things and you hyper
Mm,
things, and obviously your mind is kind of going through peaks and valleys, and you can kind of get carried away and psych yourself out a bit. I
yeah.
find I found that it hasn't really been an issue this time around because any time that I would in the past spend doing that, it's just in dad mode, right? So
Right.
yeah,
Interesting, bro. I really like that. I really like that. I think that was kind of what I was curious about most with talking to you was how much that affected. Because I can imagine, like you never seemed to be one that was hard to be motivated. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like you've always just like discipline only, baby. And then, hell yeah. So that's kind of what I'd like imagine with you. But when it comes to like the scheduling and stuff like that, oh man, I had something I want to ask about that. But do you have the idea is to go like pro full time or like pro and also work?
I do
What's the
like
vision?
yeah. So the plan is to go pro after this fight.
Right
Um,
on.
I think as far as going, I think I'll always have to work full time, for the foreseeable future.
Hmm.
Things could change depending on how the career goes, but like the plan is to, fight. This will be my last amateur fight, go pro, and then I'm 28, so I'll be 29 this fall. So try to make a run in the next 7 years as a professional,
Hmm.
and then if something happens, great. That is like the goal to take it as far as I possibly can, right?
Hell yeah.
And that would be obviously be awesome. That's every fighter's dream is to do this full time and not have to work.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, I'm and I have a really good job, so and it allows me to provide for my family and train.
Hmm.
So
Right.
you know, I'm gonna do that for the foreseeable future, and then if we end up in a situation where I can just be a fighter, obviously
Hmm.
that'd be great, and I would take that. But we'll see. We'll kind of see how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah. Hell yeah. There's something to be said though. I like a lot of people, especially like the guys I know and people I do know that are amateur fighters looking to be pro and stuff like that. The thing I found is in terms of like personalities, because that is a big aspect, I do think you have one of the better like personalities. Like you're very well spoken. You can tell like you haven't been hit in the head that often, you know?
Yes, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Like you're
It's
still like you're quick. I'm
yeah.
not like, oh, what's he gonna say now? Where's the CTE leading him? Like you don't have early onset like CTE or anything that I know of because that is a thing. And I'm like, man, there's some 20-year-olds I know that I'm like, you
Yeah.
gotta start reading, bro. But
Yeah.
no, that's cool.
No,
That's
no,
cool.
like, I feel like I'm a fairly intelligent person, so
Yeah.
and yeah, like, I have a family, so if I was getting to a point where I was worried about the head trauma or something, then it's like, okay, well, I would reel it back, but,
Hmm.
yeah, fortunately, I don't get hit in the head very often, you know? Try not to. So,
Yeah.
yeah, well, hopefully that, I keep it that way.
Is it go pro win or lose?
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's not a whole lot left for me. I mean, you know, if after this fight I was to get offered, maybe an amateur title or something, then I could, that's like you're fighting for something that's good
Mm.
experience, you know. Um, but like I said, like, it's like 20, 28, turning 29. Like I want to start getting, it's a
Yep.
lot of sacrifice, not just for me, but for my family. Like I want to start making a run and like, thinking about that and getting, I've been doing this, I only have this will be my sixth amateur fight, so not a whole lot of fights, but I've been doing it since 2017, right? So it's
Right.
been a long road in that sense. Lots has happened, right?
Hmm.
Been training consistently that whole and even in years before that, right? So
Right.
it's like I've put in like a lot of time and sacrificed a lot. So it's like I feel like win or lose, it's like it's time to make the jump. Um and yeah, and kind of get that ball rolling. Um yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you what's that process look like? Do you like reach out to a few people? Do you have like Aaron and Craig reach out? Like what how does that look like? What does that jump look like what's it going to look like when you decide to go from, guys, I just won my last amateur fight. I want to like start making money from this. I've invested a lot of time and resources into it, and I'd like to start, seeing my return on it, my investment there. What does that? What do those steps look like?
So I think it's fairly straightforward. Like, if I wanted to turn pro for this fight, it would have just been a matter of being like, hey, um, you know, talk to my coaches. They'd be like, okay, yep, put your name for a pro fight. And it's like, I think the process is basically the same as far as getting the fight.
Hmm.
Whoever the promoter was, they'd make me an offer. I'd accept, and then we're off to, um, you know, like there's people out there that have no amateur fights and just go pro
Yeah, that's
right away.
crazy.
So yeah, so it's like,
No
um,
thanks.
yeah. So I think that's going to be kind of how the process looks. A lot, Craig and Aaron kind of take, kind of do a lot of that for me as far as like they're basically like Craig's more or less like he acts as my like manager, I guess.
Yeah, I can
You
imagine.
know, he has a lot of experience. He's been there before, so I kind of let him, um, worry about the logistics of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Amazing. Yeah, Craig's the man. Both of them. Both of
yeah,
them.
so it's yeah, that's to my knowledge is pretty much how it's going to look, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Hell yeah. What's your weight look like? On pace, a bit heavy, a bit light, feeling good, feeling tired. What do you feel good?
I'm 210 pounds right now, so got a few pounds to cut.
What do you fight at?
155.
You're fucking messing with me, dude. Like, there's no way. Stop.
No, no, the weight is good, man. It like I put in a lot of work, so I'm at a point right now where I don't have to worry too much. Weight's right on point. I'm lighter than I usually am heading into fight week.
Mm,
Uh, do a little cut uh, on Thursday. Weigh in should be a breeze, and then
nice.
but yeah, I'm right where I need to be. Feeling super lean, um, but I still feel good.
Awesome. Do you have any like meals or thing you're looking forward to eat once you weigh in? Or is it all just kind of like standard?
So like right after weigh-ins, it'll be a lot of like the same kind of thing I've been eating through camp,
Yeah.
obviously. But man, like one thing, like I'm not much for like junk food and stuff,
Yeah,
but
like
like
indulging.
yeah, but like steaks,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
pizza, beer.
Hell yeah. Are you cutting out beer during your fight camp?
Yes, I cut out beer here and
Brother man. That's you cutting out beer is like me cutting out oxygen. It's like need it to
there.
live, you know?
You know what though? It's funny that you say that because um, you know, as you know, I've always been like in the past, definitely like single bachelor. I've been one to enjoy my beer for sure, but that's another thing over the past couple years that I've really like cut back on. Like I just and that's it goes back to kind of living your life or as a professional, like taking it more seriously in that sense.
Mm,
I've, you know, in the past, I was always kind of someone that would train super hard, was super disciplined and dialed in when I had fight camps, and during the week. But I would also party really hard, right? So
hell yeah.
like work hard, play hard, and that's something that I've like tweaked. Um, Obviously, as a family man, that
Obviously.
doesn't fly, right? And then
Yeah.
personally too, right? It just wasn't doing me any favors to like live my life that way. So, um,
Jesus.
living my life more as a professional athlete all year
Yeah.
round has been a a change for me as well, I would say. But
Oh
yeah,
man,
so have a few cheeky beers after the fight, but then we're right back to work.
right back to work, right back to the grind. Don't have to. Man, that's I'm gonna pitch it again, but the reason why as well, you should come learn how to wrestle in Sudbury is the what's it called? My older brother, and you won't like me sharing this. He has a cow. Like he has cows, and like they just butchered meat and stuff like that. So like we all have freezers full of like
Oh,
meat from a cow. That yeah, dude, the steaks, man, primo,
yeah.
primo. Light
Yeah,
some of those up. Oh man. So every time people talk about them, like, dude, that all I eat is steak, ground beef, rice, potatoes.
that's a champion's diet. If
Yeah,
I could,
dude.
if I had the money to live off ribeye and water, like
Yeah,
just ribeye, I would. That's fine. Yeah, sparkling water and ribeye,
sparkling,
good gravy.
buddy.
Yeah,
It was like insane. But I'll dust like two. I'll make my girlfriend one. And then like I'll have a buddy over and it's like, oh, it's just mocking. And I'm like, this is living, man. My brother, man, we're gonna get a butcher shop one. Oh man, I got he also like pitched to me the other day, and this is like news, but he was like, listen, or his wife was like, listen, we have the farm. If you go get a cow, you can leave it here and then like we'll butcher it once it's ready to go.
that's a beauty deal. You don't have to do any of the. You don't because, if I, my parents are like similar, right? Where they like
Yeah.
they'll have like a cow or some pig or something. But I get like sentimental if I'm around the animal. I'm gonna name
Yeah.
it. You know, I'm gonna like, and then when it comes time to do the butcher it, it's like, Mildred, or whatever.
Your default name was Mildred. All right. You just hand the knife to the wife and you're like, listen, babe, take this from me. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
yeah,
Dude, only $800 for a
yeah.
cow.
That's wild. I didn't know what cows were going for these days, but that's a deal.
On average at auction, $800 for a medium cow that could feed like you and the fam for 6 months.
Wow.
It's crazy. The way I look at it lately, especially the last like 6 months, I've looked at it as like whatever. I only get frozen fruit at the grocery store. It's the only thing I go to the grocery store for. Nothing else, man. Not a thing. I'll go to the butcher shop for meat, and then I'll go to like my brother's for eggs or somebody for eggs, like butcher shop for eggs, even like the fewer trips from the animal's property where it died or where it was living, whatever, to my plate.
Yeah,
And
for
I'm
the
like,
cow.
right, the fewer
Yeah,
the better. And there's private farms around these areas in Northern Ontario where I
yeah,
am, so makes it a lot nicer. So I appreciate your love for the steak. And
yeah. This I've like this. I realized like this conversation has could be like chopped up into a lot of different subcategories. It's taken some
dude,
turn. Yeah,
100%. We're hitting every direction. I'm thinking as we go how it's going to be clipped and how everything like my brain's going in all different directions. I'm like, oh, this could be hilarious, right? 'Cause it's like there's questions and prompts, and lately I've been putting a lot more effort into that stuff, and I've actually bought a subscription that does it so I can plug in links and it spits them out really well, and then I'll do my own chopping because I want to see like what I like, and
yeah.
sometimes they don't clip exactly where I want and stuff like that, so there's a bit more to that, but I'm not going to bore you with those details. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. And
I
there's
would,
do you have any superstitions for this or anything you're going to do, like you're going to, you
mm,
know?
no, I don't. I don't like if you're like referring to like rituals and stuff. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
you're not that's not
Yeah,
really your thing.
I like I one thing I'll do. I wouldn't call it maybe like a ritual, but I smudge. You know, like I get in touch with
Oh, yeah.
my smudge kind of the day of. That's just something I do kind of periodically anyway. But
Yeah,
that's the thing. Everything else is like, I don't really believe in having like a set, I have to do this and this because it's going to be what happens if you don't have that thing or like, whatever. So no, it's just
right.
I'm just excited to be back in this position, man. It's like I said, it's been a long road to get back here. A lot has happened, and it's just I just I'm really grateful to be in a position that where I can like, it's been a grind. It's been a long, this will be a 9-week fight camp for me. And, I was helping buddies out with their camps before this.
Mm,
It's been like a long time coming. Um, I'm just really grateful. I'm just taking it all in. I was talking with a buddy last night at the gym, and we were kind of just talking about this fight and some other things, and we were saying like there's gonna be a day where you can't train, you can't fight, you know.
mm,
So really like enjoy it, like take it all in. You know, this is an opportunity that a lot of people will never get. Um, some people would well that so it's just taking it all in, um, really enjoying the process. You know, at the end of the day, like you don't have to do this. You're doing
right.
this 'cause you want to. You're doing this because you love it, presumably, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, I hope so.
so yeah, that's kind of been the mentality this whole camp. I'm just really enjoying every moment of it, even when it gets really hard. Like just reminding myself that you know you want to be here. Like this is what you want. This is what you love. You know, um, so just super excited, man. I've left no stone unturned.
That's
There's
awesome.
I feel like I've set myself up in the best possible way for success. So just go out there and see what happens. Like it's there's that's all you can do, right? I did an interview a couple weeks ago, and I said the same thing where I'm like, there's only so much you can control. Control the controllables. If you can't control it, best to forget it.
Mhm.
I've stayed on top of my nutrition, strength and conditioning, recovery, you know, skills training. I've done the extra hours. It's there's nothing else I could have done. So we just go out there and we have fun, man.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome. Dude, I love it. I love talking to you. If you have a few minutes after, I want to tell you like a story, but I prefer to do it offline. I'll probably Snapchat you or something about it. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you always taking the time chatting with you. I appreciate also if we're going down the gratitude route. It's man, we talk to each other every day. I know some days it's snippets and stuff like that. Most days it's snippets, but I'm like, it's fucking cool. It's
Yeah.
cool, man. So I appreciate the shit out of you, bro. I love seeing what you're doing. I love seeing the family and stuff like that. And some people might get annoyed by photos of of like babies and stuff. It's like we get it. You have a new kid. Not me, dude, and not with you. Hell yeah. So I love it, man. I fucking love you. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, I'm glad you're staying safe and glad you're. I look forward to watch you kick somebody's fucking ass. So
Yeah. Thank you, man. Likewise, I appreciate you having me on. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, man, I'd say it's go time. The hard work is done. We just go out there and do what we do.
that's fucking awesome. Right on, Lane. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Sounds good, brother.
Right on.